I'm going to be going over my favorite study tips that have actually worked for me. I recently graduated high school a couple of weeks ago, but I'm currently taking an online real estate course, so I need to stay on the study grind. And just for a little bit of background, I've been both homeschooled and public schooled, so I'm going to be giving you guys tips from both that I've picked up over time from both homeschool and public school. So whether you're taking finals or an online course like me, these are going to be the perfect study tips for you. So me personally, I use both my laptop and my iPad for studying. Turn your devices on Do Not Disturb. For the longest time, this was something that I didn't do because I was like, well, what if my mom texts me? What if, my dad calls me? That's not something you really need to worry about, especially with Apple's updates. If you go into your settings, you can actually see that you can edit your Do Not Disturb, plans or focuses, and you can set it up to where certain people can still call you or emergency contacts can still get in touch with you so that you don't have to worry about not hearing from somebody important like mom or dad. Adding on to that, put your phone away. Whatever devices you're not using, put them away, whether it be in a drawer, on the other side of the room, or give it to somebody that you know and trust. If you even think that you're going to be tempted to use it, put it in another room, put it away from you, something like that. If you're also somebody that still relies on having contact with somebody, I would recommend getting an Apple Watch. I have one, and it lets me know whenever my mom or dad texts me, whenever I'm on Do Not Disturb. And I can also set it up to where I can just be like, studying right now, I'll text you later. My next favorite thing is writing everything you see down. So I have a notepad that is full of pages of notes. Even if you think that you might not need it, it's best to write it down than to end up needing it later and you didn't end up writing it down, because you can always come back later, review those notes, and write down what you know that you need. The next thing that I would say is play some music. I have a TV in my room and I can just quickly turn on YouTube and play some lo-fi, or I can play any song that I would like. If you're one of those people that are like me and you struggle to focus whenever you're hearing a song that you know and you want to sing the lyrics, if you're somebody that struggles with that, I would 110% recommend lo-fi. If you don't know what lo-fi is, it's the type of music that I have playing in the background of all of my videos. Another big thing that I see a lot of YouTubers talking about is taking breaks. They recommend, going and go to do something for a little bit, but my take on that, if I walk away and go play games on my phone on the couch for a little bit, or I go watch TV in the living room for a little bit, I find that I don't want to get up and come back to study. And that's not something you can do, Whenever you're taking your break, avoid using your phone or any other electronic device that you're not using for studying, because by the time it comes back to you having to do schoolwork or having to study, you're not going to want to study because you have TikTok in your hands, and that's something that's a huge distraction, which isn't good at all. So a couple of things that I do whenever I'm on break is refilling my water bottle. I'll work on some laundry if I have laundry to do that day. I'll go take the dogs outside, or maybe I'll grab a quick snack. It's just something that only takes a couple of minutes so I can get away from looking at the screen, or get away from having to study for a huge test for a couple of minutes, so I give my brain time to breathe, and then come back but not complain that I have to go back, if that makes sense. Another one, this one kind of fits in with putting your phone away. Set boundaries, whether that be hanging up a note on your door that says I'm studying right now, I'll be done in a little bit, or telling somebody I'm going to go work on my schoolwork, or I'm going to go study for a little bit. This is important to me, this is something that has to be done, I need to go do that right now. And then if they try saying, well, I need help with this, explain that you can help later. It's the next day. We're back. My tripod just decided that it didn't like me anymore. Hopefully it doesn't keep doing that because it was kind of expensive. Yeah. What were we even talking about last? I think we were last talking about setting boundaries, but I think I got my point across there. Now the next thing that I want to talk about is test taking. If you have a copy of the test before you actually take the test, take advantage of that, because that is going to be your best friend. Highlight keywords in the question and then highlight the correct answer. I promise you'll pass every test. That's what I did, and It was amazing. My psychology teacher taught me that. He was my favorite teacher ever. I have never failed a test since then. As you're highlighting, read it so that your brain is actually intaking that information. The next study tip that I have for test taking is I guess it's kind of like a flashcard, but I call it the finger method. I don't know if it has an actual name. This is just what I do. So what you do, you take one or two of your fingers, depending on how big the font is, on the copy of the test that you have, and you cover up the answers, but you leave the question. You read the question, and then, without even looking at any of the answers, give an educated guess on what you think that the best answer is. Even if you weren't right for word for word, at least you were in the ballpark. That's all that matters. My last thing, as soon as you get your study guide, make sure you know you're studying every now and then, but right before you take the test. I'm talking about if you have 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, if you have an hour before you take your test, take advantage of that time and study. You want to study as much as possible immediately before the test. The last category that I want to talk about is your desk setup. Your desk setup is extremely important, whether you're in class or you have a desk at home that you can study at, or even if you don't even have a desk, like if you're in your kitchen studying, if you're at a cafe studying, it's really important that you make sure that the area has these things. There's a couple that you can't really. One of them I don't think you can have full control over if you're in school. The first thing, natural lighting. Natural or white lighting, game changer. And I know you can't really control natural lighting if you're in a school building, but if your teacher asks you if you want the lights on or off, keep the lights on. I know y'all don't want to be under those fluorescent lights all day, every day, but there's something about having a bright room whenever you're studying that makes it so much better. The next thing, make sure you're in a quiet area. Like, don't go to a McDonald's with a play place if they still even have those, or you know what I mean. Don't go to a restaurant that's full of kids. If you have a Starbucks in your area that's typically quiet, you can go there, or if you have a cute little cafe in your area that's typically quiet, I would go there as well. Keep your study tools on hand, and when I say study tools, I mean pens, pencils, highlighters, notebooks, notepads, post-it notes. I personally like to write in bright colors because I feel that it sticks with me longer. I have a notepad that has colors. I think that's everything. That's all I did when I was taking courses. If you guys have any more questions, let me know in the comments down below, and leave your study tips in the comments. I would like to know what you guys do that helps you study. Maybe you have something that works better than the ideas I gave out. That's everything, guys. Love you, bye.